Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Hexlex here, coming at you with some more Master Duel. We've got some more Adamancipator content for you here, like I alluded to at the end of the deck profile, which, by the way, if you want to check out this deck's deck profile, you can follow the link down there in the description, and you'll be able to find that. But yeah, I mentioned at the end of the deck profile video that I wanted to show kind of a, I'll call it a quote-unquote combo guide for Adamancipators, because Adamancipators are a bit unique in that, yes, they are a very combo-heavy deck, but they don't have, like, consistent combo lines. Like, it's not like, you know, with Tri-Brigade Zodiac, it's like, oh, if you have a Fractal, you can do this, and then end on this board. With, you know, Bird Up, it's like, oh, if you open Warbler plus Sparrow, you can do this, and then this, and then this, and so on, and then you'll end with this board. With Adamancipator, it's a little bit different. Due to the nature of the starters, Analyzer, Researcher, and Seeker, because they excavate and then get a random rock monster onto the board, it's really kind of random in that way how your combo ends up playing out. So it's a lot like, if any of you are familiar with the line from The Office, where, you know, the guy Michael Scott is like, sometimes when I begin a sentence, I don't know what the end is going to be, I just find it along the way. That's how you kind of think of combos with Adamancipator in this deck. Like, when we start our combos, we don't know how they're going to end, we're just going to go ahead and find them along the way. That doesn't mean we're just totally, like, you know, freeballing it the whole time. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean it that way. That doesn't mean we're totally, you know, just, like, playing off the cuff, right, the whole time. We are actually going to want to have a plan, a loose plan, you know, a flexible plan, but a plan nonetheless. So what exactly does all this mean? How do you have a plan but still remain flexible, especially when you don't know exactly what you're going to end up summoning? So I'm going to show you some first turns. It'll be against a solo mode player like my other combo guide videos, but we'll go ahead and take a look at some opening hands, and we'll show you how to spot combos, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So yeah, let's start taking a look at some of these example hands and how we can find combos to pull off with the Adamancipator engine. Okay, so here I am in the tutorial, or the solo mode. I'm here just basically to kind of show you these hands here, and this is actually a good way of doing test hands if you're unfamiliar with a deck, especially a combo deck. You want to kind of figure out how it ticks, how it works, how to make it go, basically. Yeah, practicing in solo mode, or even just doing solo mode with your deck, can be a very good way to get some of that practice in. So let's take a look at our opening hand here. By the way, I'm going to be going first for all of these kind of examples here. Now, obviously, it's going to be much different in practice when you're playing against an opponent who will actually, you know, have interruptions or hand traps, or if they're going first, you know, they'll obviously have set up before you play. So, this obviously won't account for that, but this is just kind of to show a basis, right? This is to show basically what to look for, and then once you actually play against opponents with hand traps and all that stuff, you'll kind of figure out what you are and aren't able to do based on what they stop and how they stop it. So we take a look at this hand here. First thing I'm looking for are our starters. We've got an Analyzer and a Seeker, so that's actually really, really good. We also have a Supplier in our hand, which is a pretty good extender as well. But before we summon the Analyzer, I'm going to begin by activating Sekka's Light to draw an extra 2 cards here. We drew a Block Dragon. That is a phenomenal draw. I'm actually also going to use Sekka's Light as a second effect here. And I'm going to put back, let's see, I'm going to put back the Gigantes. I mean, okay, if I was going to show, like, you know, what an optimal board would look like if I knew there were no interrupts, I'd put back Maxx, right? But in an actual game where I'm thinking, like, okay, I could get, like, Nibiru'd at some point, or my opponent could stop me and I might need to Maxx, or even if I combo out, my opponent special summons to try to go into it out, I want Maxx. So I'm going to put back Gigantes because we're going to search it later with Block Dragon anyway, so let's go ahead and put that back, and we get a Koa'ki Mirror Guardian. That's excellent. So I mentioned in the deck profile that if possible, it's best to try to summon Koa'ki Mirror Guardian to lead off with at the start. I am tempted to do that here, but I will also say that it would be a bit risky, because if I whiff with my Seeker, then I have to, I mean, I can still make plays, but I'll have to use my Koa'ki Mirror Guardian to make plays. Whereas if I summon Adamancipator Analyzer, then I can Special Seeker, and then I have 2 Excavates, which more or less guarantees plays. So I'm going to go with that line, but it is also valid to just normal summon Koa'ki Mirror Guardian here. So I'm going to begin by summoning my Analyzer. I will activate my Analyzer's ability. Let's go ahead and excavate the top 5 cards of our deck here. And we whiffed. That is going to happen sometimes, but wow, look at this too. This is like, I mean, the Buster Sword, O-Lion, and other 2 Sekka's Light are like 4 of the worst things we could have drawn, so we'll just go ahead and definitely just put everything back here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and activate our Seeker's effect and special summon him to the board. And let's see what we reveal with this one. Okay, we got a Supplier, so at least we didn't whiff this time. That's definitely good. We got a Doki Doki, which is also very good. So let's go ahead and get the Doki Doki here. And when we're putting stuff back, we typically want to put our rocks back on top, so that way we can get to them sooner when we excavate. Okay, so here I'm going to activate Doki Doki's ability. Now, once per turn, I almost said once per turn for some reason. Once again, I'm going to kind of assume that I'd be playing against an actual opponent, not just an AI who I know doesn't have hand traps. So, like, again, if I wanted to ideally combo out, I'd probably just get like a Rocksies here. But I'm actually going to discard Guardian and get a Guardian here. And yep, we can just summon this over here. Okay, so now what do we do from here? Well, now I want to get my Block Dragon out, probably pretty soon here, so that I can start going into some plays there. But before we do that, we have to set up some stuff in Graveyard, right? Because we only have the 1 Guardian in Grave right now. So let's go into our Crystron here. I am going to send... this is actually a good question. What should I send here? Well, I'm going to be getting the Supplier out because I'm going to be sending stuff to Grave, so I should leave the Seekers. So I should send Analyzer and Doki Doki here. We'll put the Crystron right over there. We're also getting a level 2 Synchro with the, or level 2 tuner in the O-Lion. So that's also good to get. That's also another reason to leave the Seeker here, is because it'll let us Synchro climb basically into level 8. You'll see what I mean here in a moment, but... Yep, we'll activate the effect, and then we will also do the Supplier from our hand. Okay, Supplier we'll put over there, and we're gonna summon O-Lion over here. Yep, we can activate Supplier's effect, that's fine. It's not particularly like necessary or anything, but yeah, we'll go ahead and add a Koa'ki Mirror Guardian from our deck to our hand. So now we have 3 Earths in Grave set up to special summon the Block Dragon. So let's consider what order we want to do this in. If we special summon Block Dragon, we're going to want to use that to go into an Appalachia. So what are we going to use to go into Appalachia, you might ask? Well, we're definitely going to use the Halkwabrax. We're going to use the Block Dragon. Although we should use actually the Link Spider from O-Lion's token, which means we should probably be synchroing first. Actually, you know, take the probably out of it. We're definitely going to want to be synchroing first. The only issue I see with this is that we want to link in Grave, so we can't go into Boral Sword right away. So that is going to be a bit of a problem. Let me just think for a second. If I go O-Lion and Supplier, then I summon the Dragite, then I get the token, and then I have enough room for Block Dragon. So yeah, that should be fine. Let's go ahead and do it that way. We'll go into the Raptite here. Not going to activate Raptite's effect yet because we won't have enough room if we do. I said room weird there, excuse me. Yep, okay, so we have the token here. Let's go ahead and special summon the Block Dragon over here. We can banish. Doesn't particularly matter what you banish from Grave, I don't think. Again, I'm still kind of new at this myself, so I'm not winging it exactly, but I am still in the learning process. But I don't think it particularly matters what you banish there. So, yep, like I said, we're going to go into Link Spider next. We're going to send the token in order to do that. Main reason we do that is to set up another Earth Engrave for Block Dragon later. So now we can go into our Appalachia. We're going to go with 3 materials. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. We'll set up Appalachia over here. And we get our Block Dragon's effect. So we're going to add a 4 and then 2 level 2 monsters. The 4 is definitely going to be Gigantes. And let's see here. We're going to add the Seeker and the Researcher. Okay, so now that we have a Link 2 set up in Graveyard, we can go ahead and go into Borreload Savage Dragon with our Seeker and our Raptite. But we still actually haven't activated Raptite's effect, so let's go ahead and do that first. Ooh, we got a Rocksies. It's a really good reveal. Rocksies earlier in the combo also would have allowed us to do a lot of extra things, but okay, we'll go ahead and special summon a Rocksies to our board. We'll put it over here. And then again, we're going to want to put our rocks on top. Oops. Hang on, we'll do it like that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and Synchro Summon. Let us do that for Borreload Savage Dragon. And we'll put it over here. Oh, you know what? It actually was technically right to do the Rocksies first. Our board load is going to miss out on like 250 attack because we did it this way. It's not a big deal, but it was technically right to link away Rocksies first. But this gives us another negate as well. Not that we need it necessarily, right? We already have the Guardian and the Appalachia as well. We're definitely going to equip the Crystron. We'll put it underneath. That's fine. Okay, so yep, now we're going to go ahead and do the Rocksies play, or the Prank-Kids play, rather. We're going to link away the Rocksies for a Meow Meow Moo. Now we activate Roxy's ability. And we don't need this other Koa'ki Mirror Guardian. We can just banish it and draw another card. We didn't need this Adama either, or Adahara rather, but nope. We'll go ahead and summon the Dropsies, and then we can go ahead and special summon. I actually kind of want to think about how I want to do this, because I'm going to go into Union Carrier, and Union Carrier needs 2 monsters of the same type and or attribute. That's something to keep in mind. So if I go into Dodo here, I actually might not be able to go into Link Carrier, because I don't have any other Thunders. I don't really want to, use Appalachia as another Wind. So I do have to kind of be considerate about that, although I do have Adamancipator Researcher and Gigantes in hand, so I can just use those to go into Union Carrier anyway. So I think it's fine here. We can just go ahead and just think for a second. That will also occupy 2 monster zones. That is something else to consider here. Because I'll summon the Rocksies. I mean, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just go ahead and do it. I'll show you how to finish out the Prank-Kids combo here. Or rather, the Prank-Kids line of the combo. We'll just go ahead and summon Dodo Doodle Doo. We'll activate Droplets effect. Gain some life points. We'll summon another Rocksies. Alright, we can go ahead and special summon the Gigantes. Let me think for a second, actually. Just trying to figure out if there's anything I can link this Doodle Doodle Doo away for. Not necessarily, but it's not really that big of a big deal anyway. Let's just go ahead and... I'm thinking if I want to summon Researcher for anything. No, because I won't have enough room to summon stuff anyway. So yep, we'll go with our original plan of Gigantes. Banish an Earth Monster in our grave. Sure, we'll banish Link Spider. That's fine. We'll special summon the Gigantes. And then we can go into the Union Carrier here. We'll put Union Carrier right over there. That's fine. Let's go ahead and activate Union Carrier's effect on the Savage Dragon for sure. And now we can equip that Buster Dragon Sword that's been sitting in our deck. We'll put it right here. And it's funny because now our Doodle Doodle Doo is a bit in the way, right? Because we actually want to go for an IP Masquerena to kind of finish the setup. Well, we can actually do something about that. Let's go ahead and activate Doodle Doodle Doo's effect. And then we can put Dropsies and Rocksies back from our grave to our hand. Not that we need them in our hand, really, for anything, but now the Doodle Doodle Doo's off the board, right? Which means we can now special summon our Researcher, which we have not summoned yet. And we'll activate Researcher's effect. Ooh, we actually excavated a Doki Doki, so we could even go into a Dragite here. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll summon the Doki Doki in defense mode, and we'll go ahead and just stack like this. It doesn't particularly matter. And this actually leaves us with a whole bunch of different options we could do for our last play here, right? We could set up a Herald of Arclight by syncing the Researcher and the Doki Doki. We could set up an IP Masquerena by linking the Researcher and the Doki Doki. Or we could set up a Dragite by syncing the Researcher, the Doki Doki, and the Koa'ki Guardian. So what do I think is best here? What do I think is the best in a vacuum? I mean, they're all good options, really, right? I mean, the Dragite for the Spell Trap Negate is actually really good in addition to the Savage Dragon's Negate and the Appalasia's Negates, plus no summoning from the extra deck. That's basically going to shut our opponent down from doing anything, pretty much, and we can just bounce whatever back rows they set with Dragite during our next turn. I think that's better than one Negate or one Shuffle, so let's go ahead and go for Dragite. Plus, we get to show the, 5 Negate board, so to speak. But you also might have noticed there, we actually did all of that comboing while still leaving that Koa'ki Guardian from the very beginning up. So that's pretty cool that we're able to do that with this deck. It's one thing I really like about this deck. But yeah, we'll go ahead and sync into Dragite. And let's actually make sure we have a water monster in the grave. We might not, actually, now that I think about it. Ooh, we actually don't, because we got the Dropsies back. So, yeah, that was a bit of a misplay on our part. We did have to do the diddle-diddle-do to get the Dropsies back. So, yeah, we don't have the negate, actually, so we definitely should have just gone to IP Masquerena, but that at least shows how to get the negate out. Yeah, if we'd done the Prank-Kids thing a bit earlier in that play, then we could have equipped Doodle-Doodle-Doo instead of the Halquiff backs, and we'd have that in the grave for the Dragite negate. So that is the only slight variance from what I did versus what is like a 100% ideal setup, but this is like the 5 negate setup with options to go into the IP Masquerena setup, or the Herald of Arclight setup. There's a bunch of different things you can do. So, yeah, that's cool. I really like that as a good general example of how the comboing in this deck kind of works. Again, you can see in the process of it, it was very much we were figuring it out on the way. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other hands to show kind of other ways to combo here. Okay, so we've got our next starting hand here. As you can see, I'm still up against the AI with going first here. Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting hand, right? We've got an Adahara, we've got a Guardian. We've already opened with Block Dragon, which is very good, and an Analyzer. So this isn't a play where we can start by normal summoning Guardian, but that's going to have to be fine here. We'll begin by special summoning the Adahara in defense mode over here. And then we'll normal summon the Analyzer, activate Analyzer's ability. Let's see what we excavate here. Let's see, Sekka's Light and Nibiru. We got a Rocksies. That's really, really good. Okay, cool. That's probably the best one we could have excavated, to be honest. So let's go ahead and special summon the Rocksies, and we'll put them back in... Nope, put them back in that order. Alright, let's go ahead and special summon for Meow Meow Moo. We'll go ahead and send Rocksies. Put Meow Meow Moo over there. Another reason I really like this Prank-Kids setup here is that it also loads up your graveyard with Earths to banish for Block Dragon. Very, very nice there. Let's see, let's go ahead and banish... We can banish the Koa'ki Guardian because we already normal summon. That's fine. True, another Block Dragon, not that we needed it. We'll special summon Dropsies to the board. Now let's go ahead and go into Prank-Kids Doodle-Doodle-Doo. Over here. And then we can use Dropsies to just put another Rocksies on the board. Which is, you know, again, why this combo is so powerful, or why this engine, rather, is so powerful, because you literally just end up with a free link, too. So... next thing we're going to want to summon is our... let's see here, actually. We don't need to go into Gallant Granite because we already have the Block Dragon. And yeah, we've got 2 Earths set up in Grave, so we want to get at least one more set up. Let's go into our Crystron now. Definitely going to use the Tenyi Spirit. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use Analyzer or Rocksies. I think I should use Rocksies here. No. What am I saying? I need to use Analyzer because I'm going to get the O-Lion out, of course. Yep, so we get the Halquiff Brax here. We're going to activate the effect. And, yep, special summon our O-Lion over here. Now we can special summon our Block Dragon. excuse me, we can banish Meow Meow Moo, Adahara, and Rocksies from our grave. We'll put Block Dragon over here. Okay, special summon. Now we're going to go into our Appalachia, and to summon it, we are going to use Block Dragon. We'll use the Halkif and we will we can treat as 2 materials, and then we'll use the Dodo Doodle Doo. Boom! Now we've got our Appalachia up, and we'll definitely be activating Block Dragon's ability. And here we kind of get to see the full extent of how ridiculous Block Dragon is, because we get the Gigantes Researcher and the Seeker, and we actually haven't used Researcher or Seeker yet in the combo up to this point, which makes them even more ridiculous than they normally would be. But we can actually even go into a wrap type before we do that. Let's go ahead and do so here. Put the wrap type over there. And we'll activate O-Line's effect to get our token. Put it in defense mode, that's fine. And we're going to turn our token into a Link Spider. Okay, let's go ahead and activate Raptite's effect as long as we've got the room on the board. That is something you actually do have to consider pretty often, is like just making sure that you've got room on board for all your like ridiculous comboing here. So we're going to special summon. I'll get the Doki Doki out. I don't even know if I'm going to use it. I was going to say need it. I definitely don't need it, but we'll see if we end up using it here. Now let's go ahead and special summon Adamancipator Seeker. Since we have an Adamancipator monster on the board, we might as well do that now. And we have a free zone. Let's go ahead and activate Seeker's ability. We got a Supplier. That's good, so we already know we hit. We can use that Supplier to make the Union Carrier with the Link Spider. And we can return them in this order is fine. We can activate Supplier's effect to add good old Guardian. Why not? Okay, so we have our Prank-Kids Dodo Doodle Doo in the grave, so we can go into Borload Savage Dragon at this time. Put him over here. Alright, we'll activate that ability for Dodo Doodle Doo and put that down here. And let's see here. I'm trying to figure out if I should go into Union Carrier next, or we could go into what's the word I'm looking for? We could go into Dragite actually. By summoning the... So basically what I'm thinking, right, is we can special summon the Researcher, sync for 8 into Dragite, then special the Gigantes, link the Gigantes and the Link Spider in a Union Carrier. I'm just trying to figure out if we can summon IP Masquerena after that. We'll have a Block Dragon. Here's the thing, though. This is actually kind of annoying that we're running out of space, because if we got Doki Doki or Researcher, we could definitely go into IP Masquerena. So should we try to link before we sync? I didn't even mean to rhyme there. Yeah, because we can use the Gigantes, so we don't even have to... Yeah, we can link summon first. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do Union Carrier for Supplier and Link Spider. And we can activate Union Carrier's ability for Borload Savage Dragon. Yeah, it's funny, I just mentioned how important it is to make sure you have space, and it totally came up there. Let's go ahead and activate Researcher. And I'll use her Excavate effect because it's free and we might hit a level 4 rock. If we don't, we're actually not going to opt to activate the effect because, like I said, we want to sync for a Dragite here. But we hit a Supplier and a Rocksies, so that's always nice. And a Guardian, too. It doesn't really matter which one we summon. Sure, we'll get Supplier. And we'll stack them back with the rocks that we can summon on top. Okay, now we can synchro for Dragite. Yeah, I couldn't use the Doki Doki there, which is kind of a bit of a waste, but not that big of a deal. Alright, now I'm going to special summon Gigantes. I'll banish Link Spider from my graveyard to do so. Put him over here, and now we can use the Block Dragon that's in our graveyard. We'll banish Analyzer, Rocksies, and Seeker. It doesn't really matter which ones we banish. We're not going to get 3 more searches. Block Dragon isn't that ridiculous, but, I mean, it's ridiculous enough, right? So, yep, now we can go into IP Masquerena. We'll use the Block Dragon and the Gigantes. We'll put IP over here. That's fine. But Block Dragon is ridiculous enough that we can use it from grave again. So we'll banish the Gigantes we just sent, a Supplier, and a Doki Doki. Sure. And once again, you see we've got like a full board setup here. This is like a full setup. This is even better than the last one, actually, because we got the 5 negates, we got the Dragite, which is actually live this time. You see we got the Crystron, Halkif Brax in the graveyard. We've got the IP Masquerena, we've got the Into the Union Carrier, we've got the 3 negate Appalachia. Technically, I should have put Block Dragon in defense mode here, was the correct play, since I'm going first, but... yep, we can link away on our opponent's turn. We can link away Masquerena and Union Carrier into the Nightmare Phoenix from our extra deck. We can discard, I don't know, either the Block Dragon or the Guardian, shuffle something back. We've also got Maxx on top of that. You can see that this deck is pretty ridiculous, especially when you go off uninterrupted. Again, I have to add the caveat that this is an uninterrupted play, but even if you do get interrupted, you still get to do... like, at least some of this, right? And I mean, all of these are kind of valid plays in and of themselves. Like the Dragite, the 3-material Appalachia, the Savage Dragon. Yeah, it's pretty great. So let's try to get one more game in here before we go to the end of the video. Okay, we've got our next hand here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do with this one. So we've opened with an Adahara, Doki Doki, Ash, Koa'ki, Guardian, and Analyzer. Okay, we're definitely going to start by summoning our Adahara, of course, since we control no effect monsters. That's going to be the ideal thing to open up with there. So, let's see here. We could summon Analyzer, or we could summon Doki Doki. The Doki Doki is actually slightly better here. It is more susceptible to hand traps, so you are going to want to keep that in mind. Now, if you really wanted to, you could even summon a Koa'ki Guardian, but no, obviously that's not going to be ideal, because in a perfect world we'd want to rather instead get our play set up. So I'm going to discard an Analyzer, and then I'm going to summon an Analyzer to get our excavations going. Let's go ahead and get our first excavate here, see what we can find. We find a Rocksies. That is a really good find, as we well know by this point. So we're going to go ahead and special summon the Rocksies, and we can put stuff back in this order. We'll put the Buster Dragon on the bottom there. So we know what to do with Rocksies at this point. We're going to begin with a Meow Meow Moo, and then with Rocksies effects we'll go ahead and draw a card. We'll banish the Guardian since we already normal summoned. We don't need it for anything anyway. And we drew a Supplier. That's actually a really good draw. So we can then special summon the droplets from our hand. After that, let's go ahead and get the Dodo Doodle Doo, linking away the droplets and the Meow Meow Moo. Put it up here. And then we can summon the Rocksies back to the board. Once again, that is the... Oh, we can even also get a Supplier in. Yeah, we've got the room on the board. Let's do it. Put the Supplier in defense mode. Special summon the Rocksies, and we'll put that right here. We can activate the effect here, that's fine, since we summoned the Supplier, we special summoned it. So we don't have access to a Block Dragon yet, so we're definitely going to want to solve that. That's where Gallant Granite here comes in. Let's go ahead and overlay... let's overlay Rocksies and Supplier here. Supplier, there we go. Now we got a good old Gallant Granite. Let's go ahead and activate that ability here. We can add a rock monster from our deck to our hand. We'll detach the Rocksies. Doesn't really matter which one we detach. And here at the end, yep, here is Block Dragon. And as you can see, we've obviously got more than enough, excuse me, Earths Engrave set up there already. Let's go ahead and special summon Block Dragon. Banish 3 of our Earths. And I'm going to put the Rock Dragon, I mean, it is a Rock Dragon, but you know what I mean. I'm going to put the Block Dragon over here. Now we're going to link summon our Appalachia. We're going to use our Block Dragon, our Gallant Granite, and the Dodo Doodle Doo. And the main reason, I'll go ahead and point out that, oops, I didn't mean to hit that. We're going to use these 3 specifically because we can't use them for synchroing, right? The Block Dragon's too high of a level, and the Gallant Granite and the Dodo Doodle Doo don't have any levels at all. So that's why we are using those 3 as materials. And we'll summon Appalachia right over there. We'll go ahead and activate Block Dragon's ability. And we can add, as always, Gigantes. And Seeker. And Researcher. I'm glad I got to show this setup because I did want to show at least one example where we don't, already open with Block Dragon like we did the other times there. Excuse me. So let's see, let's go ahead and make our Raptite next with the Analyzer and the Doki Doki. You can put that right over here. Activate Raptite's ability. We do need to get a Halkif in our graveyard if we're going to set up our... I can't think of what the card's called. The Dragite, that is. So that is something to note. We haven't used that yet. Normally we've kind of done that by this point in the combo, but oh wow, look at this. Let's I guess go ahead and do it in that order. Sure, that's fine. Okay, we can actually set up the Halkif now. Let's go ahead and send... Oh wait, do we even want to do that? Because we're actually kind of at a point where I'm thinking about not doing that. What am I going to summon instead? I could summon Union Carrier, then special the Seeker, activate... I'm just trying to figure out if I need... I mean, I have a Dropsies in graveyard as my water, right? Yeah, I do. Okay, and then I just make sure... That's, yep, you just have to have the water monster in your graveyard. So, yeah, okay, so we actually have that set up already. So I don't think we're going to actually even need to go into the Crystal in this game. Let's go ahead and special summon our Adamancipator Seeker. In defense mode, we can activate his effect because we've got the room here. And looks like we had a Koa'ki Guardian and a Koa'ki Supplier. We can just go ahead and get, it doesn't matter really here. We'll just go ahead and get the Guardian. Always helps to have extra protection if you need it. And we'll put them back in that order right there. Okay, and let's just triple check. We've got the Prank-Kids monster in our graveyard. We do, so we can go ahead and perform a Synchro Summon here for the Borreload Savage Dragon. We'll activate the Borreload's ability. And we'll equip the Prank-Kids. Next we can link into our trusty Union Carrier using the Adahara and the Doki Doki. We'll put the Union Carrier right here. And then we'll activate its effect. Of course on Borreload, and of course to equip the Buster Sword. As you can see, we still got plenty of room here, and we still haven't used Researcher, so let's go ahead and do that. Activate Researcher's ability. And we've already flipped up a Supplier, so we can go into, let me see here, actually. What can we summon? We have to go into IP. Yeah, we can't go into Dragite here. We don't have the levels to do it with as far as synchroing goes, which is, I guess slightly unfortunate, but is it really that big of a deal, honestly? Actually, let me think for a second here. Is there any way... I'd have to summon a level 2 monster. I'm just trying to figure if there's any way I can actually get Dragite here. I don't think there is, but that's alright. We'll just go into Masquerena. It's fine. And we can even special summon the Block Dragon back from our graveyard once again. We'll do that by banishing Doki Doki, Gallant Granite, and sure, Supplier. Doesn't matter. So yeah, we didn't get the Dragite set up here, but we did have an extra monster negate in the form of Koa'ki Guardian instead. We still set up the Nightmare Unicorn on our opponent's turn. We still got the Borreload with the Buster and the Aplysia and the Spirit Block Dragon as well. So yeah, as you can see, we started with 3 like completely different hands there throughout those 3 games, but we were still able to find basically more or less the same combo or just slight variants of the same ending board at the end of it there. So, okay, that's going to be it for these games. Let's go ahead and take one more look at the build itself before we end off the video. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found those example hands and the following combos helpful. Again, I just wanted to show how even though we don't have like set combo patterns with Adamancipator like we do with other decks, or set combo paths rather, not patterns. We don't have set paths like we do with other decks, but that doesn't mean it's a total crapshoot. You know, we still can pretty consistently land on just about the same ending board without any eruptions, of course, just about every time, no matter what we open. So, yep, I just wanted to show off that Adamancipator's ability to kind of, again, just kind of freehand their combos like that. I hadn't really seen a video on YouTube when I was doing my research. I didn't see one video that was specifically dedicated to showing like how the effects all work together, how the combos play out. So I want to do that in an isolated kind of experience outside of game, so I could explain my thought process and take my time explaining how each of the steps lead into one another. So definitely do be on the lookout though for games with Adamancipator, as there will be more in the very, very near future. I'm definitely really liking this deck. I think it's a whole lot of fun to play, and you're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of it here on the channel during this season, in addition to other decks, of course, as well. But yep, that is going to do it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. That's incredible. I love it. I really do. And I also love it when you guys subscribe and comment as well. It means a lot. I love seeing the growth. I love interacting with you guys in the comments. So yeah, feel free to drop one down there. But yep, without further ado, this is HexLex signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.